Imagine feeling like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and constantly feeling like you're just treading water. You work hard every day, but it seems like no matter what you do, you can never seem to get ahead. You see others around you with nice cars, fancy clothes, and taking exotic vacations, wondering how they're able to afford it all while you struggle just to make ends meet. Now imagine a world where the wealth gap is smashed, and you have the tools to face your financial fears head-on. A world where you're able to build a life you love, filled with the freedom and choices that lead to true happiness. This is the world that the author of this book envisions for you. But there's a catch. The reality is that the current economic system is rigged against you. It's a system designed to benefit those who hold power, often at the expense of marginalized communities like women, people of color, and LGBTQ+ individuals. It's a system that can cost you over $1 million of personal wealth in a lifetime. In this book, you'll learn how to smash through the barriers that have been holding you back and build the life you deserve. You'll discover practical advice for each stage of the process, and you'll learn to debunk the long-held myths and misogyny around money that may be keeping you from success. If you're ready to take control of your financial future and build the life you love, then this book is for you. It's time to face your fears, break down the walls of the patriarchy, and create the world that you want to live in. Are you ready to join the fight and smash the wealth gap? Chapter 1. Maya had just graduated from college. She had always been interested in finance but was hesitant to dive into it because she didn't feel confident enough. Maya had grown up in a household where her parents fought about money almost every night, and it left her feeling scared and ashamed of ever talking about finances. Maya's perception of money was formed by the time she was 7 years old. Her parents fought about bills, and she often saw them balancing the checkbook together. Maya knew that money was a significant issue in her household, and it made her feel uncomfortable. As Maya got older, she realized that her financial education was lacking. Her parents never taught her anything about saving or investing, and her school only provided her with basic financial literacy. She noticed that boys were often taught about building wealth through investments, real estate, or entrepreneurship, while girls were limited to household budgeting and cutting spending. Maya didn't want to be limited to just managing a household budget. She wanted to build wealth and create financial security for herself. But society made her feel ashamed of her financial situation. Maya often heard people shame others who were in debt or couldn't afford to buy a house. She felt like she was the only one struggling to make ends meet. One day, Maya realized that she needed to ditch the shame and understand that her net worth wasn't her self-worth. She knew that she wasn't alone in her struggles and that many people had faced similar challenges. Maya decided to take control of her finances and start learning more about money. Maya began by checking in with her emotions around money. She realized that she had absorbed negative messages about her self-worth, and it had affected her confidence when it came to negotiating for a raise or applying for a better job. But Maya was determined to confront these emotions and process them. Over time, Maya's confidence grew, and she started making small changes to achieve her financial goals. She negotiated a higher salary, paid off her credit card debt, and started investing in stocks. Maya even started her own side business, which allowed her to earn extra income and work towards financial freedom. Maya's journey wasn't easy, but she learned that with education and practice, anyone can achieve financial success. Maya discovered that society's financial shaming was just gaslighting, and she refused to let it hold her back. Maya continued to grow and build wealth, and she knew that her self-worth was never tied to her net worth. Chapter 2. Sarah was just starting her career as a graphic designer. She had always been passionate about art and design, and was thrilled to finally be doing what she loved for a living. However, Sarah quickly realized that she didn't have a good understanding of how to manage her finances. At first, Sarah didn't worry too much about it. She figured that as long as she was making enough money to pay her bills and have a little extra for fun, everything was okay. But as time went on, Sarah began to feel more and more anxious about her financial situation. She knew she wasn't saving enough money and didn't have a plan for her future. One day, Sarah decided she needed to confront her anxiety and take control of her financial life. She took a deep breath, grabbed a notebook and pen, and began to write down all of her financial information. She listed her income, expenses, and debts, and made note of any areas where she could cut back on spending. As she worked, Sarah began to feel more empowered. She realized that even though her financial situation wasn't perfect, she had the power to make positive changes. She decided to set some financial goals for herself, like building an emergency fund and saving for retirement. Sarah began to track her spending and make a budget, and even though it wasn't always easy, she stuck with it. Over time, she started to see progress. She was saving more money, paying down her debts, and feeling more confident about her financial future. Sarah learned that in money, ignorance isn't bliss. It's important to confront your financial fears head-on and take control of your financial life. By doing so, you can achieve your goals and build the life of your dreams. Chapter 3. Emily had always dreamt of climbing a mountain, but the thought of it intimidated her. One day, she met an experienced mountaineer who asked her, "How do you climb a mountain?" Emily replied, "I don't know. One step at a time?" The mountaineer smiled and said, "Exactly." Emily was inspired by the mountaineer's words, and she realized that the same principle applied to her financial life. She had always felt overwhelmed by her finances and had never known where to start. But she decided that it was time to take the first step and make a change. Emily gathered all her financial information and took stock of her income, savings, and debt. She realized that she had been living without an emergency fund, and she made it her first goal to save for one. She set a specific target of saving $5,000 within the year and visualized how it would make her feel once she had accomplished it. Emily also realized that she needed to track her spending to make sure she could meet her savings goal. She used online tools to categorize her spending and found that she could cut back on some areas that were not as important to her. She set a second goal to pay off her credit cards within 7 months, and she visualized how relieved she would feel once she no longer dreaded getting the mail. Emily also had a long-term goal of saving for a trip to Tuscany. But she knew that this goal would take time, so she broke it down into smaller monthly steps. She called it her Tuscany Bucks fund and thought about how delicious the pasta would taste once she got there. Emily worked hard to meet her goals, and she did it one step at a time. She celebrated each milestone along the way and kept pushing herself to achieve more. Eventually, she reached her goals, and she felt proud of herself for taking control of her financial life. Emily realized that just like climbing a mountain, achieving financial success takes determination and persistence. But with the right mindset and a clear plan, anyone can reach the summit. Chapter 4. Lily had just landed her first job after graduating from college. She was thrilled to finally have a steady income, but she was also overwhelmed by the responsibility of managing her finances. One day, Lily decided to attend a financial planning seminar at her local community center. The speaker talked about the importance of budgeting and setting priorities for monthly spending. She explained that it was like filling 3 baskets: expenses, goals, and fun stuff. Lily took notes furiously as the speaker went on to explain that the first basket was for expenses, like housing, food, transportation, and utilities. The second basket was for goals, like saving for emergencies, paying off debt, and investing for retirement. And the third basket was for all the fun stuff, like travel, hobbies, and entertainment. The speaker then introduced the 50-20-30 rule, where 50% of income goes to expenses, 20% to goals, and 30% to fun stuff. Lily was amazed by how simple and straightforward it all sounded, but she knew it would be a challenge to stick to this plan. After the seminar, Lily sat down with her notebook and started filling in her 3 baskets. She wrote down all her expenses, including rent, groceries, and transportation. She then calculated how much she needed to set aside each month for her emergency fund, paying off her credit card debt, and investing in a retirement account. Lily felt a sense of satisfaction as she filled each basket, knowing that she was taking control of her financial future. She was determined to stick to her plan and make it a habit. Over the next few months, Lily saw the results of her hard work. Her emergency fund grew steadily, and she was able to pay off her credit card debt faster than she thought possible. She even had some money left over for a trip to visit her family over the holidays. As she sat on the plane, Lily felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. She had learned that by prioritizing her spending, she could achieve her financial goals and still enjoy the fun things in life. She realized that by filling her baskets and sticking to her plan, she was creating a solid foundation for a successful and fulfilling life. Chapter 5. Olivia, who lived in a bustling city. Olivia was a driven individual who worked hard and had big dreams. However, she often found herself struggling to make ends meet and was constantly stressed about money. One day, a wise mentor of Olivia's pulled her aside and said, "Olivia, it's time for you to start thinking about your financial future. You need to prioritize saving for emergencies and investing in yourself. It's not selfish, it's necessary for your success." Olivia was skeptical at first, but as she listened to her mentor's advice, she began to realize that it was time to take control of her financial life. She started by creating a plan and setting goals for herself. Olivia broke down her monthly expenses into 3 categories: expenses, goals, and fun stuff. The first basket was for her expenses, which included things like housing, food, transportation, utilities, and insurance. The second basket was for her goals, which included things like saving for emergencies and investing in her retirement. The third basket was for the fun stuff, which was anything that wasn't necessary for her survival but made her life worth living. Olivia was determined to save for emergencies, knowing that having a safety net would give her the confidence to negotiate for better wages or walk away from a job that didn't serve her. She also realized that saving for emergencies was a feminist issue because the wage gap was real, and having a financial safety net could help level the playing field. Olivia began to take control of her financial life, negotiating lower interest rates on her credit cards and investing in local businesses and artisans. She learned that even her small slice of the economic pie could make a big difference, and by investing in causes and businesses that aligned with her values, she could make the world a better place. As Olivia's savings grew, she began to invest in her future by putting money regularly into an index fund and supporting causes and businesses that mattered to her. She realized that being a financial feminist wasn't just about securing her own future but also about supporting the future of others. Over time, Olivia's financial security gave her the freedom and power to make a difference in the world. She was able to build the life she wanted and support the causes she believed in. Olivia learned that security isn't selfish, and by prioritizing her financial well-being, she could make a positive impact on the world around her. Finally, the insights and knowledge I gained from reading Financial Feminism were phenomenal. I highly recommend it. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and if you found value in this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more great content. Trust me, you won't regret it.